Yo, JD here, Linus, and as you can see by today's video, this is F1 2016. Finally, we've actually seen some legitimate gameplay that hasn't been leaked or anything. This is actually from E3 that occurred recently, and this is from someone called XB Oxygen or Xbox Y Gen, however you want to call it. And link to his channel will be in the description below. So thank you for providing this footage. And I know a lot of people have done a few videos in this already, so I'll try and do my own take on it, just my own opinion of how I feel it looks. And having previously had a really good, or had the opportunity to go to Codemasters in Birmingham before, actually play the game, just to give my thoughts on this compared to what it was like there. And as you'll be able to see, first thing you may be able to notice that we're actually in sunset, so there's a daytime editor now in the game, which I think is a really cool feature, just something different that we've never had from previous games. And some people have been asking for it before. For me personally, I've never been a big guy in graphics or anything like that, so I'm not really too fussed about anything like that, designing the top-notch graphics and games or anything. For me, it's all about the core gameplay of actually having a working game that I can actually play properly and you can actually race wheel to wheel against someone. That is my #1 priority for the next F1 title and future F1 titles. Games like 2013 that you could actually race wheel to wheel on. But for this, having these little details, you can see with the details of the track and the marbles and the graining and just the racing line and all the exterior things and the poles going above the track, the TV poles. It's really a cool feature. And as you can see in the top right as well, we've actually got a delta on this game as well, which is a really big thing that has been introduced, which I feel is something that has been way overdue for what it has done the previous games. So games like Project Cars and like PGR4 and stuff, they've had these little hard settings that F1, I feel these games should have had a long time ago. So having this delta, so basically when you're on a time trial lap, compare it to your previous best lap, you'll be able to see how far up and down you are, and it'll be a continuous live feed. So not just by sector, so every part of the track, it will actually tell you exactly how much you're up and down. And I think that's an incredibly useful thing to have. And it may be distracting for some people, but for someone like me who uses Ghost and Time Trial, that's going to be something that really will just push you more when you're actually on a really good lap. Or if you're on a good lap, to be a little bit more cautious. And also something you can see on the bottom right hand side, the new HUD, which I feel is just a lot more aesthetically pleasing than the previous games. I feel the other games were just a little bit, I don't know, I can't really describe it, but just a little bit standard and just a little bit clunky and just not really fitting to how the game is. And this is just a lot more of a sleek design, which I am a big fan of. And the throttle braking application, which was on Project Cars, there's now being introduced into this game, I feel is a crucial thing, and something so simple which I wish could have been introduced before, because I know mods and like PC and stuff that you could actually put your own one in, but for this to now actually be in the game, for someone like me who just does setup videos and stuff as well and actually tries to help improve people at the game, this is just going to be so much more useful for them, particularly new players, because I could just say in the video that I'm going to go 80% on the brakes, go trail brake 90% into this corner, and I may feel I'm doing that, but if you actually look at it on the right hand side, that it may actually tell a completely different story. So now it will actually show players and what other people are doing coming out of corners, and watching the more skilled players of how they actually approach corners. And just from a spectator standpoint as well, it's just a really cool thing to have. And as I said, something that has been way overdue. So I'm really glad Codemasters have finally actually put it into the game. And you can see now we're in the dry around America, and I forgot to talk about the wet before in the previous clip. I believe this guy here in this footage, he's using all assists from what I can see, from what I can tell anyway, because the handling, when I played it, and I'm playing it recently on the beta and stuff as well, but we'll mainly just talking purely about how it was when I went to Codemasters, without giving away disclosed features or anything. The handling is definitely a lot different, I feel, from 2015. It's not completely brand new handling model, and I know I've said in the past, I've said this already, a lot of people were a fan of the 2015 handling model, but I really wasn't from the start. I really did not like that handling model, and I know it may seem crazy to a lot of people, but for me, it just wasn't challenging enough, and it was a bit too easy to pick up and play, and it just felt inconsistent as well. It just didn't feel like you could feel the car. You couldn't feel the weight of the car or anything at all, and under braking on throttle and traction and just going through the corners, I felt like the car was just, it was just like floaty, if it makes any sense at all. But you just couldn't feel the car, like the vibrations or anything. It's like playing with just no force feedback for a wheel, I imagine, or no vibration on the controller or anything. It was just impossible to just know how much input to put into corners, and it was just inconsistent. Just the main thing I can say, it was just inconsistent. But from playing this, having the chance to go there, the handling is so much improved. You could actually feel the car, and the skill gap between players is going to be really interesting this year. It's going to be a lot more, personally, than I think it was in the previous game. You're going to have to grind this game a lot more to be competitive, and I feel that's something that F1 needs. That's something that has been needing to happen for a good couple of games now. So that's my take on this today. So hopefully you did enjoy this footage. Please subscribe to Xbox or XB Oxygen for more gameplay if he's got that. So hopefully you've enjoyed it here today, and I will catch you next time. Cheers.